welcome to another episode of Simply Shaunte with me, JaLisa Shaunte. We do have a special guest here with us today from McLeansville, North Carolina. Let's welcome today to Simply Shaunte, Mr. Germaine Cousar, Chief Executive Officer of HBCU Bound Athletics. So welcome to Simply Shaunte. How are you?
I couldn't I couldn't be any better. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. So, for those who don't know, what is HBCU Bound Athletics about?
So HBCU Bound Athletics we're a nonprofit organization, and we decide to help high school athletes navigate the college recruitment process. Especially now with the transfer portal and NIL deals and stuff like that, we want to kind of help high school athletes navigate that. Any high school athlete, but our main focus is on athletes that are at a financial disadvantage, minorities, females, at-risk youth that, some kids don't even know that they can go to college. So we want to enlighten them on that as well. And in return for us doing that, we ask that they at least consider going to a historically black college or university.
Awesome. So, what inspired you to start HBCU Bound Athletics?
I know like HBCUs, I didn't know at that time, but they were kind of understaffed and underfunded. That's why, you see HBCU week all the time with like on ESPN, Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp. Everybody's trying to. So I wanted to figure out what can I do to take part. And then during COVID, I don't know if you remember that, we saw all that injustice. I can go here and start naming everybody we saw with the police brutality. So I was like, what can I do to help create change? And then I know that there's a lot of money in collegiate athletics. So what would happen if more those 4-star caliber athletes started going to HBCUs? Like Power 5 universities, if you look at their athletic programs, and mostly black and brown athletes. So what if those athletes decided to go to an HBCU? How would that dynamic change for our funding? Because you get funding from the state and funding from winning. So, why are we putting them, and I'm stepping on toes, why are we putting our money in education? That sounds so bad. We're putting our money in education when we should be putting it in athletics. Because a lot of times young kids, they don't care how your engineering program is. Is your team good? As I'm saying that, my team is not, we ain't going to talk about that. But they want to know, is the team winning? So you want to make the aesthetics look good. And you can do that by winning.
Do you have any like personal experiences that led you to this career path to, help these children, young adults, to decide what they wanted to do as far as what college they want to go to?
Yes. So I was a school teacher and I was a coach, and I learned real quickly that I'm a very terrible teacher, but I'm a good coach. So I started going down this path of I think it was around the time 2017 or somewhere. My son and his nephew, my son, his cousin, my nephew, and a couple of his friends, they were, trying to get to college. So I was like, all right, I need to figure out how to do this. And I came across this company, and they was like, you passionate about helping athletes get to college? You ever thought about doing it as a career? And I'm like, that's possible. I don't have to teach. They was like, yeah, and they were country people too. And they was like, I'm gonna send you a video. You watch this video, and I was like, oh, they're trying to sell me something. I don't want to. But I watched the video, and they did a lot with SAT prep, doing recruitment questionnaires, video editing, video evaluations, and I was like, oh my god, I want to do this. Yeah, so I started doing it, and then the company they focus a lot on soccer, baseball, softball, volleyball, those sports that families usually have a lot of income.
Right.
So when I went down my path, I was doing football, basketball, track and field. Families with, it doesn't take a lot of money to, and I'm sitting around and families looking at me, and I'm going through all this that I can help them get recruited. And the families, they didn't see the value, or they couldn't afford it. And a lot of times, us especially, we would pay for a personal trainer. We paid to play AA And then here I am, someone who's talking to college coaches every day, and you don't see the value of investing in me. And I was like, oh my God. So I was like, how do I change this? And then, of course, COVID hits, and I'm looking at all this injustice. And I was like, well, what if I just started, and I didn't know it at the time, but what if I started a nonprofit, created a nonprofit to help those? But per NCAA rules, if I spend any money on helping an athlete get recruited, it's an NCAA violation. So that's why those platforms can charge so much, because they know they can. And then here I am, all not knowing, like, oh, I can do it for free. Like, no, you can't. No, you can't. That's a gift. If I put gas in my car and I drive to, Georgia or Clemson or Carolina or whatever, or NCAA, or if I drive to any school and I put and talk about that athlete, I just gave them a gift, and now they're athletically ineligible. We got to see how that dynamic works now with NIL. I'm not an NIL rep, so I don't have the NIL. And that's the whole slippery slope of trying to be NIL and trying to help. So it's a lot of red tape. That's one of the things that I guess one of the things I had to overcome was not knowing that you can't do it for free. Families don't know that, and it's like, and they always think, stuff's just, if you ain't got a star by your name and you're not paying anyone to help you get in front of college coaches, you're losing.
Are some of those, like you mentioned earlier, like SAT prep, are those some of the services that HBCU Bound Athletics provides to student athletes?
Well, we show them how. We show them what the best way, the best programs to help them, because a lot of times there's a lot of free programs out there that help with SAT prep. But there are some programs out there that are phenomenal with teaching them how to take the SAT. Like, there's a program out there which shows you a video, and then you answer question 37B, and the correct answer was A. Well, the video will show you why the correct answer is A, and it'll show you why you possibly chose B. And that way you can learn, so you create a pattern of how to take the SAT and what's the best way to do it. So, yeah, we do that.
Good. Can you share some success stories of student athletes who have benefited from your program and your services?
Well, you can go on Instagram and look at that. But
That's right.
over 200 so far in 4 years. We've helped over 200 athletes, get to, and it's now shifted to where there's college kids that wanting to train and wanting to get better in order to walk on to get a scholarship to university. So we kind of dibbled into that too as well, because we do speed and agility and strength and conditioning as well to try to help these athletes get bigger, faster, stronger, and smarter.
So I know that you mentioned some of the things that the athletes have to deal with as far as regulations with receiving gifts and things like that. But what are some of the biggest challenges that they face during the college recruitment process?
The transfer portal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The transfer portal. Not a lot of people know how to navigate it. They don't. There's
Right.
a new. So D1 is now the new profession. This is new. So kids now, they should be looking more towards Division II, Division III, and even junior college, because now you got to play the game. Get in where you fit in. Now the people used to, oh, I'm gonna wait for this off. I'm gonna wait for that. No, you're not. Most D1 schools they're probably bringing in anywhere between just 3 to 7 high school athletes, and they'll go in the transfer portal and look at Deion Sanders, what he did with Colorado. All those kids came from the transfer portal. None of them. I mean, not none of them. But you got 7, and then the kids that come, he said it out of his own mouth. He said, "You can't play right away. We're not bringing you right out of high school." So that means 4 and 5-star caliber athletes. But what about those kids that were just college ready, that could go D1 but needed to develop? Where are they going to go now?
Right.
And then we kind of help them navigate and try to help them find the avenue so they can do the same thing. Get into a college program, work their butt off to get better and faster, and then get in the transfer portal themselves if they want to. Really don't have to, but if you're looking for NIL money, you got to go where the schools has the most. I didn't know this now. NIL is name, image, and likeness, but now the schools have programs where they can afford to have their own NIL, and they can pay the kid to come there.
Oh, wow.
I was saying, it puts me in mind of, I don't know if you know, back in the day that the boosters and booster and alumni used to hand a little kid, slide a little kid. I don't know if you remember the movie The Program. Kids getting envelopes from the boosters. Hey, thank you, good job, young man. So the stuff they used to do behind the scenes, they can do it out in the open now. All you gotta do is show up, sign some autographs, make a little commercial, and then it's all legal.
What do you think is important for student athletes to consider when they're thinking about colleges and attending an HBCU?
Well, it depends on the sport. They should consider what their goal is. Is your goal to play sports? Is your goal to get an education?
Right.
Because sometimes your career might be over because you can probably get into A&T, but getting on the football or basketball program might not be a reality anymore.
Right.
Or do you want to go somewhere where the football program will accept you? Because there's plenty of Division II HBCUs, plenty of NAIA HBCUs that would bring you on. I mean, I haven't seen it, but I'm pretty sure the goal is 10 feet, no matter where you go, and it's 120 yards, 53 in the third. I mean, all those parameters are the same, and the combine doesn't change depending on Division One, Division Two, Division Three. Everybody's at the same combine. So train yourself to be good at the combine, so you can get there. The 40, the short shuttle, the bench press, the vertical jump, the broad jump, all that, and then of course you got to do technique and drills and stuff like that. So it doesn't matter if you're playing at D1, D2, or D3. If you can run 4.3, you can run 4.3. So that's what you need to be looking at, not who you playing in front of, but where you want to play in front of.
Right.
Because you just need to get to the combine. How you get there?
I know that's right. Let me see here. I have a few more questions for you. So how do you feel HBCUs can better compete with larger, more established programs with other schools in order to attract?
So do I need to put my phone number here? Because I need every HBCU coach to hear me when I say this. Get rid of that algorithm. We can't get him, so we're not going to try to recruit him. Get rid of that algorithm. I'm telling you, the kids want to be recruited by you. So I got a lot of kids that have gone to other D1 Power 5 programs because they said the HBCU coach didn't even call. And then I called the HBCU coach, like, hey, man, why didn't you reach out? Oh, we can't get him because he was too. My program is called HBCU. They want to be recruited by you.
Isn't that something?
So, and you can't tell me that. So, yeah. And then start young. I mean, start reaching out to these kids and bring them to camps as a freshman in 8th grade and develop a relationship from them. So once they get that relationship and they like you, it's very hard for them to say no to you. But if you're trying to wait till their senior year to get them, or now getting them out of the transfer portal, and that's what's becoming a big thing now. Some of the HBCUs are going into the transfer portal when kids get to the PWI and be like, hey, this ain't what I thought. And then now the HBCU coach is like, hey, come on over here, come on back to us. So that's kind of working for them. But
right.
Yeah, coming out of high school, we still get them. Them 4- and 5-star athletes want to be recruited by the HBCUs, but HBCU coaches don't. Not all of them, but in general, HBCU coaches don't reach out to them because they feel like the kid's not going to want to come, so they don't want to waste their time. If I was an HBCU coach, that kid's going to have to tell me no. So, you hear that? As long as I can keep doing HBCU Bound Athletics, I'll recruit for you. No, so.
I know that. I guess they haven't even tried and already thinking they're not going to get this student. But if they would have tried, they might have got him. So
might have got him. He probably could have brought a couple of his friends with him.
Right. And how do you see the future of college athletics, especially for HBCU student athletes?
I think we need to now, because since the game has changed, I think we need to tap in and really, and it's going to take us, because what happens is alumni support. We don't give back as like we should, but we need to tap into that NIL, because if we have NIL money to give them, they'll want to come too as well. But sometimes we want to, because they can actually come and make more money than the coaches that they got. And I'm cool with that. But we need to tap into how to regulate, tap into the collective, and how are you going to raise money to be able to pay a good athlete to come to an HBCU? Or is there a good athlete that would want to come to an HBCU with his own following? If he's already got a lot of following, that's going to help. Just now he's at an HBCU. What other outside NIL money can you get? That's why I see the future. It'll happen when we can tap in to get those high caliber athletes to come to an HBCU. And it was happening. Mm-hmm. When Deion Sanders was at Jackson State, it was happening. I'm not in the in crowd. I don't know what happened over there, but they were on their way, and somebody somewhere decided to look at just the smaller picture instead of the bigger picture. I'm thinking because all those kids that are at Colorado could be at Jackson State. I'm just saying could be. I don't know because it's not happening.
So, what are the latest trends? I know that you touched on this earlier. Some of the trends in college sports recruiting that HBCU Bound Athletics is adapting to. I remember you said something about the NIL.
Mm-hmm.
What are
Yeah.
some of the
So what
other
are we
sports
doing?
trends?
So, well, one of the things I had to do is because I'm very good at finding athletes, but I'm not very good at finding sponsorships and donations. So we got to do a better job of finding companies and sponsors that are willing to pour in to support what we do, so we can go out there ourselves. Because I can talk to any athlete. I'm not bound by any NCAA rules and regulations of talking to an athlete about going to an HBCU. It's just when I grab the information and start giving it to HBCUs, it's where it gets kind of dicey. But if I had there's a kid in Texas, why not take a trip to go watch him play, and then at the end, like, hey man, you ever thought about going to an HBCU? Yeah, no, I haven't. Like, which one would you be interested in? And then instead of me giving his information to the coach, I would give the coach's information to that athlete. Now, look, here's his email and here's his office number. Give him a call, send him an email, let him know that you're interested. That's it. That's actually public knowledge. You get for any coach, any kid can go to Google and pull up the coach's email address. So that's public knowledge that I'm giving out. Cell phone numbers, that's a little different. I don't give out cell phone numbers unless the coach says it's okay. But I want to make sure that hey, look, and then I'll call the coach. Hey man, expect an email or text from this kid because he said he was interested in your university.
So, do you all service all the 50 states?
I have kids in Ghana.
Wow, I know that's right.
I got some track athletes in Ghana. They're trying to get over here. He's an international student and he wants to run over here to play. I had a baseball athlete. Well, that's the U.S. DR is part of the U.S. But I got kids everywhere. I had California, Oklahoma, Texas. Georgia is killing it right now in track and field with good track and field athletes. And Georgia, Virginia, and I guess you can say North Carolina, but Georgia's on the mem. And then Pennsylvania had one good athlete who he committed to Florida, but I ain't mad at him. I ain't mad at him. Look, I had him in my program, and I don't think HBCUs reached out to him. I don't know that for a fact. I'm gonna ask him, but he committed to Florida, and I'm like, good job, man. But they're out there. They want to be recruited and they want to be babied. And if you don't want to baby them, maybe you shouldn't be a coach because you got to sell yourself.
If you want them to be on your team, you got to sell yourself. That's right.
Right.
That's right. So, do you have any advice you would give to a young athlete who dreams of playing at a HBCU?
Yes, 5 things that he should be doing. He should be eating right, sleeping right, training, studying, and helping his parents out around the house. Because look, it's hard. So if you do those 5 things, and make sure you're in constant communication with college coaches early. Track and field, you can send emails to a coach, but they really can't reach out to you until June 15th, I think, after your sophomore season. But football, go to the football, basketball, go to those camps early. Get in front of those college coaches because with track and field, swimming, golf, all those sports are absolute. It's a number. If you don't have that number, we can't give you a scholarship. Football, basketball, and track and field, and baseball, those volleyball as well. They require video. I send a video to a coach, and to 10 coaches, 9 of them will think you suck, and 1 of them will think you're the best player that they ever saw. So it's subjective with those sports. But in those video sports, if you build relationships, it's easier, and you got to be good too. But try to build a relationship with coaches. Don't try to wait till your junior year to start reaching out. Reach out as a freshman. They might not respond, but keep 5. So it's 20 schools. 5. Reach out to 5 D1 schools, 5 Division II schools, 5 Division III schools, and 5 NAIA schools. That's 20 colleges. Somebody's gonna reach out to you, and I know you don't want to go, or you just call me.
Make it easier. Just call you, and we'll put your like contact
Nigga, just call
information
me.
too in the link so people can reach out to you as well. And we'll definitely do that. And that's definitely true what you said about the 5 things, because I noticed that my son, he ran track for the first year this year, and after he started running, like he was like, I don't want to drink soda anymore. I just want to drink water, juice. He started eating his vegetables more. And I was like, wow, I should have been put you in track. You doing all of this now. You helping around the
Take
house
care of your
more.
body.
Yeah. So I see like how that has changed him for the better. He's not he's not quiet at home, but he's kind of like more quiet around people he doesn't know, but it caused him to have to talk and be
Yeah.
around people, and meet new kids and stuff like
Hmm.
that, go to meet other people at other schools. So I was glad that he got to run this year. This was his first year in 7th grade, but he really enjoyed it and he liked it, and I think it was great. I think all kids should try sports, try whatever sport you want to try, and if it doesn't work out, try
Hmm.
another one, see what you like. So I let them try a little
Try
bit of
another one.
everything.
And
And
if it does work, stick with it. Just do more.
yes, indeed. So, what are the long-term goals for HBCU Bound Athletics?
I want to get to a point where I can help. I want to see an HBCU go to the Final Four in basketball. I
Mhm.
want to see an HBCU win an NCAA championship or get close. We were close.
Awesome.
I don't know if it's possible. Well, it is. I want to see if an HBCU can win NCAA title. That's what I want to see. I want to see HBCUs winning at the highest level, and how we're going to get there is, yeah. So I want to see them HBCUs be successful.
And they will be. Just got to keep on pushing through, and they will be. So I did say that I'll put your contact information down below so people can reach out to you, contact, donate, support, whatever they choose to do.
Yeah.
So I'll put that down in the bottom. But do you have any final thoughts or any words you want to leave us with before we go?
I know athletics is a big part of HBCUs, but if you're not an athlete, I really, really would consider at least looking into the education part of HBCUs. They have this thing called the 1890 scholarship from the NSDA. Is it NSDA? So it's called the 1890 scholarship, and it's a land grant scholarship given out to kids who have over 3.0 GPA,
Oh,
who have 21 on, or 22 on the ACT, 1090 or 1098, something like that, 1100 on the SAT, and you just get a letter of recommendation is all you need to get this 1890 scholarship, as long as you're willing to go to those 19 original land grant HBCUs. So even if you're not, there's a whole lot of money out there for you to attend an HBCU, and I would strongly consider being educated by a historically black college or university, because we're winning at the highest level. I just want to use athletics to get you there.
that is so awesome. So awesome. I thank you so much for coming on Simply Shaunte. I appreciate you dropping knowledge. I thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. Thank you so much. And we'll put your contact information down below. If you want to reach out for
Okay.
whatever reason to Coach G for anything as far as HBCU Bound Athletics, they'll be glad to help you. So thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. You have an awesome day. Thank you for having me.